In the dark corridors of medieval Europe, a child was born to inherit a throne surrounded by betrayal and bloodshed. William, later known as the Conqueror, faced conspiracies, rebellions, and danger from the moment he opened his eyes. From the fragile halls of Normandy to the stormy coasts of England, his ambition and brilliance would shape a kingdom and leave an indelible mark on history. Witness the untold story of courage, strategy, and survival that forged the foundation of Britain's enduring monarchy. Watch this video to the end to discover how one man's vision changed England forever. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this historical journey. William the Conqueror, born in 1028 in the turbulent Duchy of Normandy, William's early life was marked by danger. The death of his father left him heir to a fragile duchy, vulnerable to ambitious barons and rebellious nobles. From childhood, William learned that survival meant more than courage. It demanded cunning, diplomacy, and relentless strategic thinking. As a teenager, William faced multiple assassination attempts and rebellions, testing his resolve. He honed his leadership skills, mastering warfare, siege tactics, and the delicate art of alliance building. By the time he eyed England, William had become a formidable leader whose ambitions reached beyond Normandy. The death of Edward the Confessor opened the English throne to challenge. William claimed the crown by promise, but Harold Godwinson's coronation sparked conflict. The ensuing Norman invasion was meticulously planned. Ships built, troops trained, supply lines organized. Against stormy seas and the uncertainty of battle, William inspired his army with fearless leadership. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 was decisive. Harold fell, and William's forces secured victory, forever altering England's destiny. Coronation at Westminster Abbey cemented his rule, but rebellions continued, requiring William to strategically enforce authority through castles, taxation, and the redistribution of lands. William's reign combined ruthless pragmatism with vision. He implemented the Doomsday Survey, a groundbreaking record of England's resources, and established strong administrative systems. His legacy was a unified England under Norman rule, a monarchy strengthened for centuries, and a kingdom prepared for the challenges of the medieval era. By the end of his life in 1087, William had survived conspiracies, rebellions, and wars, emerging as a king who reshaped history through strategy, intelligence, and courage. His influence would resonate through generations of monarchs, setting the stage for England's transformation into a powerful kingdom. To Henry VII, Henry Tudor, later crowned Henry VII in 1485, emerged from the shadows of exile to claim a fractured England. Born in 1457, during the tumultuous Wars of the Roses, his early life was marked by danger and uncertainty. The Lancastrian line was nearly extinguished, and young Henry's survival depended on secrecy, alliances, and the protection of loyal supporters. Exiled in France and Brittany, Henry learned the art of diplomacy, the importance of strategic marriages, and the subtleties of political maneuvering. His upbringing was a careful blend of caution and preparation, shaping a ruler who would approach governance with calculated pragmatism. The defining moment of his life came at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485. Facing the Yorkist King Richard III, Henry led a coalition of Lancastrians and disaffected nobles. Through tactical brilliance and careful timing, he triumphed, ending decades of dynastic bloodshed. His coronation as Henry VII marked the beginning of the Tudor dynasty, a period defined by stability, consolidation of power, and cautious yet transformative governance. Henry's reign focused on strengthening the monarchy, reducing the influence of overmighty nobles, and securing financial stability. Through institutions like the Court of Star Chamber and careful management of royal finances, he ensured that the crown would remain resilient. Strategic marriages, including his union with Elizabeth of York, united the warring factions, solidifying political legitimacy. Beyond politics, Henry VII understood the delicate balance between monarch and parliament, laying foundations for the constitutional framework that would evolve over centuries. His shrewd policies, measured governance, and avoidance of unnecessary warfare ensured that England emerged stronger, setting the stage for the splendor of the Tudor age under his son, Henry VIII. Henry VII's life is a testament to resilience, vision, and the careful orchestration of power. From exile to king, his journey illustrates how cunning, foresight, and strategic alliances can transform a fragile claim into a lasting dynasty. 3. Elizabeth I. Elizabeth Tudor, born in 1533 to Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, would become one of England's most iconic monarchs. Her early life was fraught with peril. The execution of her mother and the fluctuating fortunes of the Tudor court left her navigating a world of uncertainty, suspicion, and political intrigue from a young age. Despite these dangers, Elizabeth displayed remarkable intelligence, charisma, and resilience, traits that would define her reign. Ascending the throne in 1558, Elizabeth inherited a kingdom divided by religion, financial instability, and political tension. Her approach combined pragmatism with flair. She balanced Protestant reforms with cautious diplomacy to prevent civil unrest, carefully maneuvering between powerful factions in Parliament and her court. Elizabeth's leadership style was both personal and performative. She cultivated the image of the Virgin Queen, wielding symbolism and ceremony to reinforce her authority and inspire loyalty. Her era was marked by both conflict and triumph. The defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 showcased her ability to inspire a nation and leverage England's emerging naval power. Meanwhile, Elizabeth navigated a treacherous international landscape, using espionage, alliances, and calculated marriages, proposals as tools of state. Domestically, her court became a center of cultural renaissance, patronizing figures like William Shakespeare and Sir Francis Drake, intertwining royal authority with artistic and maritime achievement. Elizabeth's reign was not without personal and political struggles. Threats of assassination, conspiracies from Catholic plots, and the constant challenge of asserting authority in a male-dominated world demanded resilience and tactical brilliance. Yet, she maintained her sovereignty, embodying a balance of charisma, intellect, and cautious pragmatism that ensured England's stability and growth. Her legacy is profound. Elizabeth I established a model of strong, independent monarchy, strengthened national identity, and positioned England as a global power. Her life and reign exemplify the art of survival and mastery in the volatile arena of 16th-century European politics. 4. George VI. George VI, born Albert Frederick Arthur George in 1895, was not destined for the throne. The unexpected abdication of his elder brother, Edward VIII, in 1936 thrust him into kingship during one of Britain's most turbulent periods. Known affectionately as Bertie to family and close friends, he faced the enormous challenge of leading a nation on the brink of global conflict, all while struggling with a debilitating stammer that made public speaking an intense personal trial. Despite these obstacles, George VI rose to the occasion with steadfast determination. His reign coincided with World War II, requiring both symbolic and practical leadership. He became a figure of national unity, visiting bombed cities, addressing the public with moving speeches, and providing reassurance alongside his wife, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. These acts solidified his image as a monarch, deeply connected to his people, embodying resilience and dignity under immense pressure. His leadership extended beyond wartime morale. George VI worked closely with Prime Minister Winston Churchill and other advisors to navigate complex military and diplomatic decisions, maintaining Britain's position against Axis powers. His reign also oversaw the gradual transition of the British Empire into the Commonwealth, reflecting the shifting geopolitical landscape. Personal struggles and health challenges marked his later years. Yet George VI remained dedicated to duty, balancing public expectation with private vulnerability. His integrity and courage under pressure left a lasting impact on the monarchy, demonstrating the power of quiet resolve and personal dedication. George VI's legacy lies in his ability to unify a nation, guide Britain through war and uncertainty, and lay the groundwork for a modern constitutional monarchy. He remains a symbol of perseverance, embodying the strength and humility necessary for enduring leadership. Legacy, reflection, and the enduring crown expanded as the centuries unfolded. The British monarchy remained a constant amid turbulent seas of change, conflict, and uncertainty. The story of the empire's goddess William the Conqueror, Henry VII, Elizabeth I, and George VI is more than a chronicle of rulers. It is a testament to resilience, calculated risk, and the meticulous balancing of power, duty, and legacy. Each monarch faced an era defined by extraordinary challenges. William navigating the treacherous political landscape following his conquest of England in 1066. Henry VII rebuilding a fractured kingdom torn apart by civil war. Elizabethi steering her nation through religious upheaval and European rivalries, and George VI guiding Britain through the global convulsions of the 20th century, including the devastation of 2 world wars and the shifting sands of imperial decline. The ability of these monarchs to survive and maintain authority often depended as much on perception as on action. William the Conqueror's victory at Hastings was not merely a military triumph, it was the consolidation of legitimacy. By establishing the feudal system and asserting control over the English nobility, he not only pacified a fractured kingdom but also created a framework for centralized authority that would endure for centuries. His reign demonstrated the critical importance of institutional control and the strategic use of symbolism, seals, and ceremonies to project power beyond the battlefield. The weight of these early decisions resonated throughout subsequent centuries, shaping the very foundation of monarchy in England. Henry VII, ascending to the throne after decades of dynastic warfare, understood that survival required more than martial strength. It demanded political prudence. The Wars of the Roses had left the nobility fractured, their loyalty brittle. Through a combination of marital alliances, careful patronage, and financial acumen, Henry VII stabilized his kingdom. The marriage of Henry VII to Elizabeth of York symbolically united warring factions, while the creation of the Court of Star Chamber ensured royal justice and curtailed the excesses of rebellious nobles. These measures underscore a timeless lesson. Monarchy survives not merely through conquest, but through foresight, diplomacy, and the subtle exercise of influence over those who wield local power. Elizabeth I, known as the Virgin Queen, exemplified the delicate artistry of leadership in a period rife with existential threats. England, though rising, faced pressures from Spain, France, and internal religious schisms. Elizabeth's deft handling of alliances, coupled with her calculated image as both sovereign and symbol, solidified her authority. The defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 was a triumph of both naval strategy and national morale. Yet, Elizabeth's enduring achievement lay in her ability to maintain stability without an heir, ensuring continuity through careful grooming of advisors and ministers. Her reign illuminates the interplay between personal restraint, strategic patience, and national destiny, showing that power is as much about perception and symbolism as it is about action. Georgevi, confronting a world reeling from the tremors of global conflict, further demonstrated the monarchy's capacity to evolve. Thrust onto the throne unexpectedly after the abdication of his brother Edward VIII, George VI assumed leadership at a moment when Britain's political and social structures faced unprecedented pressure. The monarchy's survival during the Blitz and the king's steadfast public appearances became a symbol of unity and resilience. His personal struggles, including his battle with a speech impediment, humanized the crown, fostering empathy and solidarity with the British public. This era highlighted a transformation in the monarchy's role, from detached sovereign authority to a figure embodying national morale and identity. The common thread uniting these rulers was a nuanced understanding of power, loyalty, and perception. Across centuries, monarchs preserved their authority by integrating military, economic, and political tools, while simultaneously cultivating the loyalty of their people and advisors. Feudal systems, strategic marriages, naval supremacy, and financial reforms were mechanisms by which the crown exerted influence beyond the immediate battlefield or political arena. Each decision was calculated not just for immediate benefit, but for the preservation of legacy, enduring line of succession, and the stability of the realm. Beyond mere survival, the British monarchy became an instrument of cultural continuity. Rituals, ceremonial observances, and traditions became embedded in the national consciousness. The coronation of each monarch, the use of regalia, and the observance of courtly protocols projected authority while also providing a symbolic connection between sovereign and subjects. These practices reinforce legitimacy and continuity, even when the monarchy's direct political power fluctuated. In essence, the crown became both a governing instrument and a cultural touchstone, maintaining relevance across epochs defined by war, political upheaval, and social transformation. The monarchy's relationship with its advisors and councils proved equally vital. Figures such as the Lord Chancellor, Privy Council members, and ministers provided institutional memory, counsel, and execution of policy, serving as buffers between sovereign and state crises. Monarchs who successfully balanced the counsel of their advisors with personal authority strengthened the state, while those who ignored these channels often faced instability. This dynamic is evident in William the consolidation, Henry VII's political engineering, and Elizabeth's careful patronage system. Public perception, too, became a crucial pillar of survival. Monarchs who cultivated a bond with their people, whether through military victories, public appearances, or charitable engagement, fostered loyalty that transcended the formal exercise of power. George VI's connection with ordinary citizens during World War II exemplifies this evolution. A monarch who was visible, empathetic, and approachable could galvanize national unity in ways previously unimaginable. The monarchy's enduring power rests not solely on force, wealth, or legal authority, but on the intangible bond between crown and people, a bond cultivated through centuries of strategic, personal, and cultural effort. Economic and imperial influence cannot be understated. The British Crown, through its monarchs, navigated the rise and fall of empire with remarkable dexterity. From the expansion into India and the management of overseas colonies to the establishment of trade networks and naval dominance, monarchs provided direction and legitimacy to Britain's global ambitions. Advisors, explorers, and military leaders acted under royal sanction, transforming the monarchy into a central node of global influence. Even as the empire receded in the 20th century, the monarchy's historical decisions continued to shape Britain's political, economic, and cultural identity. In the modern era, these lessons resonate in the continued significance of the crown. While constitutional reforms have limited the monarchy's direct political power, the crown retains symbolic authority, cultural influence, and moral weight. Public traditions, royal patronage, and ceremonial events reinforce continuity. While the monarchy's historical narrative provides a framework for understanding Britain as past and its evolution into a modern state, the careful balance between tradition and adaptation ensures that the monarchy remains a relevant institution, bridging centuries of change with a coherent identity. Ultimately, the story of Britain's guardians de monarchs who saved their nation underscores a timeless truth. The monarchy's endurance is not accidental. It is the product of strategic brilliance, personal courage, political acumen, cultural stewardship, and the human capacity to adapt in the face of extraordinary challenges. William, Henry, Elizabeth, and George exemplify the qualities required to navigate the complex interplay of power, duty, and legacy. Their lives and decisions illuminate the enduring nature of leadership and the mechanisms that sustain institutions across centuries. As the modern observer reflects on these centuries of history, one sees not just the triumphs and failures of individual rulers, but the broader arc of British resilience, from the battlefield to the council chamber, from ceremonial halls to public squares. The monarchy has survived wars, rebellions, social upheavals, and global transformations. Its strength lies in its ability to adapt, symbolize, and unite, ensuring continuity amid change. The crown is not merely a relic of the past. It is an active participant in national identity, cultural heritage, and historical consciousness. In conclusion, the legacy of these monarchs continues to shape contemporary Britain. Their strategies, personal sacrifices, and careful balancing of power and symbolism provide a blueprint for leadership that transcends centuries. The monarchy's story is not simply about rulers, it is about a nation's journey through chaos, triumph, and transformation. Guardians of the Empire captures this journey, revealing the resilience, ingenuity, and humanity that allowed Britain's royal institution to endure. Their stories inspire an understanding of leadership, duty, and the delicate equilibrium between tradition and progress, a story that resonates as much today as it did in the courts, castles, and cities of centuries past.